Hi there, Paul Bright here with beginnerguitaristacademy.com, and in this video I'm going to share with you 3 tips for learning and playing guitar chords much more quickly and much more easily than ever before. So let's talk about tip number 1, which is to pick each string individually. So when you're learning a chord, whether it's say the E major, the G major, the D major, like a bar chord or whatever it is, whatever chord you want to learn, what you want to do is you want to pick each string individually just to make sure each string or each note is, is being played correctly. So let's use like the E major as an example. So I'm forming the E major chord here. And you can either use that, you can do that via a chord chart or however you want. But excuse me, we're doing the E major here. What I want to do is once I've got my fingers in position, I want to pick each string individually just to make sure they sound fine. So let's do that. So as you can see, that sounds fine. But why we're picking each string individually is basically for this. See, if you hear that my 3rd string or the G string is I've got this dead note happening, and same with my 2nd. But my 1st string's fine, so my 2nd and 3rd string are kind of muted or dead notes. So what that tells me is there's something wrong with my finger placement. So what I can do is I can adjust my wrist, I can move my thumb in different spots, I can kind of prop my fingers up, I can do different things to make sure it actually rings out fine. So when I play it, it should sound like this. And that's why you want to pick each string individually, is just so you can identify any problematic strings, any problematic notes, and then basically problem solve or make the necessary changes so you get a nice sounding chord such as this. Okay, so tip number 2 is to actually practice more than one chord at a time. So one of the biggest mistakes I believe and what I see is people who are just getting started with the guitar are just practicing one chord and just one chord at a time. So that, as an example, we use the E major again. They're just learning the E major chord and that's it. What I actually recommend is learning chords in groups of say 3. So you may learn the E major chord, maybe the A major chord and the G as an example, or maybe E major, A minor and D. The combination isn't all that important. Maybe just pick chords that you're going to be using say for a song. So let's say if I've just started, I don't know any chords, a couple of chords I would be learning straight off would be the A, the D and then the E major chords. And the reason why I would learn those chords is actually I could play a song and I could play Wild Thing by the Trogs with just those 3 chords. So if you're just getting started and you just you maybe only know 1 or 2 chords or no chords at all, then learn the A, D and E. They're great chords to learn. So what you do is you would learn say the A chord first. You would use our first tip to pick each string individually, just make sure it sounds fine. But you'd play the A chord and you'd try and get that down pat. But you'd also learn the D chord as well and try and learn the E chord as well. So some people want to learn the chord before and have that down perfect before they learn the next chord, but I think that's a bit of a mistake. Learn a couple, 2, maybe 3 chords. I recommend 3, but you can do 2 if you want. I wouldn't do many more, much more than 3 until you get those 3 kind of down pat. Because what generally happens is, let's say you're learning the A, D and E. Chances are you'll probably be able to do the E fine and maybe the A, but the D you may get a little stuck with. But if you're just learning the D chord on its own, what happens is you'll just get stuck, you'll get frustrated, you'll make no progress. Where if you were to learn 3 chords, you may have some trouble with the D chord, but you're still learning the A chord and you're still learning the E chord, and you may get those down pat more easily. So what this means is you kind of feel like you're making more progress. But chances are what happens is, you may struggle with say the D chord today, but in a couple of days time, you just find that things seem to click on the guitar, and what you found a struggle and you're having trouble with, a couple of days time, with a little bit more practice, just seems to click. So that's why I recommend learning 3 chords instead of just 1 at a time. So learn more than 1 chord at a time, and they'll help you learn chords more quickly and more easily. So let's talk about tip number 3. And tip number 3 is basically, or our last tip, is to just keep persisting. Look, anything with the guitar does take time. It does take, some effort. So you do need to keep persisting. So don't basically give up. If you are struggling with, say, a chord like the D chord, learn a couple of other chords, such as the example I gave before, the A and the E major. You don't want to get stuck. So there's so many different things you can do on the guitar, and I guess on one hand you don't want to get overwhelmed as well, but just learn a couple of chords at a time, pick the chords individually, make those changes, and just keep persisting. Never give up. If you find something's giving you some grief or struggle, just try something different, muck around with it. And one thing I recommend is, instead of spending hours every day practicing the guitar, what you can do is just spend, say, 15 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, whatever time you've got available, just practicing. I think from, I guess, what I've seen and from myself, these kind of small increments of time over a period of time, I believe will help you learn guitar more quickly and easily than someone who just spends, say, an hour once a week. So if you can try and split up your practice time, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, over 5 days a week or 7 days a week, you're going to learn the guitar more easily. It's going to be less hassle, and you'll be playing all your favorite songs in no time at all. So that's those 3 tips. Again, tip number 1 was to pick each string individually. Tip number 2 was to learn more than one chord at a time. And tip number 3 is just to simply keep persisting and never give up. So if you like this video, then below this video you'll see a link that you can click on where you can get a free ebook that will teach you how to play the guitar. The ebook I've created is called The Beginner's Guide to Playing the Guitar, and in that ebook you're going to learn a whole bunch of things such as guitar chords, tuning your guitar, how to hold the guitar, the parts of the guitar, basically everything you need to know about playing the guitar. So if you would like to get that ebook, which is called The Beginner's Guide to Playing the Guitar, either click the link below this video or go to www.beginnerguitaristacademy.com/ebook. So again, you can either click the link below or visit us at beginnerguitaristacademy.com/ebook, and you can get that ebook and download it straight away. So thank you very much for watching this video. Pick one of those tips, implement them right now, or pick all 3 and start implementing it right now, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.